Welcome back to Reddit Chronicles. If you're new here, do consider subscribing to help me feed my channel and grow my cat. And if you liked the video, do kindly give it a thumbs up to help me out. Let's get started. Drive long, sharp nails into my fence, kill my vine, enjoy the weeds my siblings with. Not sure if this counts as nuclear, but was told to post here. So here goes. TLDR at bottom. This happened in the summer of 1974, when I was 4 years old. When I was a kid, we had a next door neighbor who was a total MEGABITCH. MEGABITCH was a 40-something woman who liked high heels, mules, big jewelry, lots of makeup, and wore long, flowy caftans in garnish colors that did not flatter her. She had a big perm, remember it's the 70s, a huge and was notorious in her neighborhood for being an entitled twat. Her favorite thing was to go onto neighbors' landings, either early in the morning or late at night, and steal decorations and potted plants, which she would then just put in her back garden. She once even dug up someone's small tree out of their front yard because, according to the neighbor, she felt it would look better in her garden. Total. For the most part, she left my family alone. My family has a take no shit rep in the neighborhood, and she knew it. Only glare at me and my sibs when we played outside. She hated kids. Sadly, that didn't last. One day, one of my sisters got badly sliced by a long nail when she went to pick flowers off the passion flower vine on the fence. Important later. Turned out MEGABITCH had hammered dozens of long nails into our fence so she could hang potted plants she'd most likely stolen. The leaves on the vine had hidden them until my sister got sliced. She had to get a tetanus shot, which made her sick all day. Mom was pissed, so she went out and actually spent the rest of the day hammering each and every nail back out through the fence and back into MEGABITCH's garden, causing many of the pots to fall and break. This is probably why she did what she did. About a month later, my mom goes into our kitchen and sees a man in our yard. She goes out and asks, "What the F are you doing?" Guy tells her he was a gardener and had been hired to get rid of the vine on the fence. Mom asked him who hired him to do this. "The owner of the fence," he told her, and gestured to MEGABITCH's house. Mom told him, calmly, since none of this was his fault, that it wasn't MEGABITCH's fence and she was the owner. The poor guy was horrified. However, the damage was done. He'd already cut out the hardwood and roots, and now our vine was dead. After the poor guy left, MEGABITCH stiffed him, we found out later. Mom went to MEGABITCH's house and confronted her. That bitch didn't even deny it, just laughed in my mom's face and said, "I did it! So what? It's not like you can do anything about it!" Then sauntered back into her house. She'd just messed with the wrong family. 2 days later, MEGABITCH went on a 2-week vacation with her husband and to Cabo. Revenge time. The day she left, my older siblings, along with a family friend, decided MEGABITCH's back garden needed improvements. So they climbed the fence, went into her garden, dug up all her pretty flowers and small trees, and carted them out, along with the stolen decorations, and replaced them with high pollen weeds, quick growing ivy, and lots of poison oak and poison ivy that they'd carefully dug up from a nearby state park. I was too young to help, sadly. We then temporarily moved our 3 dogs into our backyard. Neighbor was afraid of them, despite the fact they were 2 Pomeranians and a small mutt. We also had an 8-foot fence, which was too high for her or her husband's fat ass to climb, so we knew our garden would be safe from her. My family excitedly waited. When MEGABITCH got back and saw her new and improved garden, she threw the biggest, most epic tantrum and meltdown we'd ever seen. It was spectacular. A whole class of sugared up, pissed off preschoolers couldn't have thrown a bigger tantrum. From the top of the fence, we all watched. Dad took the day off to see the freakout, as he put it. as MEGABITCH screamed and ranted, pulled her hair, kicked the weeds, and threw anything she could get her hands on, all the while cussing and screeching like she was getting a chili powder enema. Then she spotted all of us watching her. She yelled and cursed at us all, laughing kids, coming to the correct conclusion we had done this to her precious garden. By this time, all the surrounding neighbors were also watching, but she of course zeroed in on us. MEGABITCH then stormed over to our house and banged on our door until Mom opened the door. Dad let her deal with it, as he was still laughing his ass off. MEGABITCH then demanded my family to not only pull all those ugly plants out, but to, of course, pay for new ones and plant them, and to do it now, right now. Our mom just looked at her, yawned, told her she had zero proof it was her kids. Mom knew, even sat and watched with me as my siblings did it, laughing the whole time. I think at one point, my dad even helped. Mom reminded her she had stolen tons of plants from the neighbors, had been caught blatantly stealing from their front gardens, yet was surprised that someone had retaliated. Mom laughed, told her to F off, and went back inside. She ranted at us through the door for about an hour till her voice blessedly gave out, then stomped back to her house. She avoided us from then on and would give a death glare to my mom, whoever she saw her. Mom would just smile, give her the finger, and go about her business. She was intimidated by my dad and wouldn't do anything when he was around, but Dad worked a lot, so wasn't there most of the time. We donated most of the dug up plants to neighbors she'd stolen from, and returned the stolen ornaments and decorations to their rightful owners, if we found them, but kept 2 rose bushes, which we planted by our back gate, a ceramic hearth cat, which I still have, and a glass and metal Sinan decoration nobody claimed. I have no idea what that is. If anyone could explain in the comments, that'd be great. MEGABITCH never did get rid of all the weeds, and didn't realize it was poison oak she was pulling, bare-handed, until she and her husband got horrible rashes over a third of their bodies, and, I was told, in some very unfortunate places. Some people have been asking why Mom didn't use MEGABITCH's words. I did it. So what? It's not like you can do anything about it. Then slammed the door in her face. She thought about saying that, but she was smart enough to A. Never admit to any alleged wrongdoing, not that anyone else in the neighborhood thought getting their stolen stuff back from the neighborhood was wrong, and B. Not admitting to anything made MEGABITCH much more subdued and paranoid, on the off chance it actually wasn't us, and made her more leery of all her neighbors. Made life in the neighborhood better in the long term, since from then on, no plants or decorations were ever stolen again. If you want more where that came from, simply click on one of these boxes right here. And if you liked the video, I assume you did since you're still here, share it with your friends to see what they think. And of course, if you haven't already, click the kitty to subscribe and you'll never miss another video. I'll see you in the next episode of Reddit Chronicles.